Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will be looking at subtopic 1.4. Subtopic 1.4, I will be breaking it down into two videos as this is a little bit longer subtopic. Okay, so in this particular video, we will be looking at factors facilitating globalization. So under this part, we will be looking at definition or the concept of globalization. That means what globalization means, and we will be looking at some factors facilitating globalization. That means what can speed up or slow down globalization speed. Okay, so let's look at the definition first. All right, in the definition here, we need to look at what is globalization. Okay, so in this case, we can say that it is a process of international integration. Okay, it's a process of international integration. Okay, so the word integration is very crucial, arising from interchange of worldview, products, ideas, and other aspects of culture. There are many definition you can find over the internet. This is just one of it. So basically the whole idea is about the whole world working together in terms of exchanging their view, exchanging their products, exchanging their ideas, exchanging what can be exchanged, and collaborating in many aspects. So in some textbook, you may find the definition as PEST, integration in terms of political, economic, social, and technology. That can be used as well for our syllabus. All right. Now, next, it actually measures the capital movement, the trade movement, okay, and technology movement. Okay, this is just an additional explanation of globalization. Okay, so you don't really need the second dot points. Okay, the important one is the first dot points. Okay, and next we need to know that globalization is actually something quite abstract. Okay, you can't see it, okay, as it is like globalization, but you can find some indicators that shows what it is. Okay, next we are going to look at the indicators of what is globalization. So these are some indicators that can tell us that it is happening. Okay, first one is the growth in trade. That means we are looking at, you actually see growth in the movement of import and export of goods and services in the world. If you see it growing, globalization is speeding up. If you see it slowing down, globalization is slowing down. Okay, next is foreign investment movement. It means, if do you see investors investing in various countries, investors investing in countries beyond their home country. Okay, so if this kind of scenario is observed rapidly, then globalization has speed up. Okay, if this is not being seen so rapidly, then globalization has slowed down. Okay, another indicators will be the flow of people. That means people migrating, people visiting, traveling from one country to another. So if you see more of this, globalization speeds up. Less of this, globalization slow down. Okay, growth of communication, again another indicator. If you see more and more communication between countries, then globalization is speeding up. Okay, so one very good example that we can look at is during pandemic, for example, where country closed down their borders. When country closed down their borders, you will see trade amount reduces. Okay, so the first thing affected, trade amount. Import export reduces. You will see foreign investment reduces. You will see not many people are allowed to travel across the national borders. You will see less and less communication between countries. So if that is the case, okay, any one of this you see, or any, in this case pandemic, the first three particularly, you see it very often. So if that's the case, you know that during pandemic, globalization speed reduces. Okay, so why do we need to know about indicators for our syllabus? They can ask you in objective question basically. Okay, the indicators, so you will need to know. And second reason why we need to know about the indicators is, as I mentioned, globalization is something abstract. Okay, so if you know the indicators, then you can find factors that actually cause all this to change. Factors that cause all this, okay, to change that will be factors that leads to globalization. Okay, I repeat, factors that causes all these indicators to change, or either one of these indicators to change, then it will lead to globalization. Okay, so these are the purpose why we are studying, or we are looking at the indicators. Okay, now next we will be looking at factors. Okay, there are a few factors that we'll be looking at. Number one is trade liberalization. Okay, trade liberalization, I've mentioned in my previous video that trade liberalization simply means free trade. Okay, so if you are looking at free trade, it means freer movement of trade between countries. Okay, countries that practice free trade, it will slowly reduces trade barriers between the country and its trading partners. Okay, so if that is the case, of course, whether product that is being imported or exported from or to the country, it will be cheaper. Okay, say for example, if a country were to reduce tariff for its import, okay, when they reduce tariff for the import, of course, then import price will be cheaper. Okay, now when the country reduced tariff for its imports, the trading partners, their trading partners most likely will do the same thing for their exports to the trading partners country. And again, that will reduce the export price. Okay, okay. Now, so moving on from there, when price of import and export is cheaper, obviously you will see more trade activities taken place. That means more export and import happening. Demand for export and import would increase. Okay. Further, moving on from there, okay, if we look at it, when your import is cheaper and your country actually import materials, or any capital goods, import raw material, import machine, technology, whatever it is. When your country are importing those products, of course, then your cost of production will be cheaper in running the business. So when your cost of production will be cheaper, what will happen is your price will be lower. In this case, I'm looking at price of export will be lower. And again, that will actually lead to growth in trade. Okay, and again, remember when we cover the indicators just now, when there is a growth in trade, it means growth in globalization. Globalization speed up. Okay, now next we will be looking at from free trade, it actually leads to deregulation of financial market. Deregulation of financial markets here simply means it makes it easier for foreign investment to come in and to go out. Okay, because regulation has been made in such a way that it is welcoming foreign investment. Okay, so if that's the case, of course, capital movement in this case, it means financial investment. Yeah, capital movement here means financial investment movement between countries will actually increase. So in that case, of course, foreign investment level increases. There will be a growth in foreign investment. Growth in foreign investment again speed up globalization. Right? So here I have an example for you to look at. Up to date, yeah, Australia has concluded and put into force 14 free trade agreement. Okay, not that we need to know what are the free trade agreements, okay, but for example, if you want to put in example of free trade agreement, then you have a few to look at. NCTA, the agreement between Australia and New Zealand. CHAFTA, agreement between China and Australia. MAFTA, agreement between Malaysia and Australia. Any one of it you can use, or any of the remaining 11. Okay, next we will be looking at factor number 2, okay, which is advances in transport and communication. Okay, so when there's advancement in transport and communication, of course, if you recall back on the indicators, it will actually means there'll be more export and import, right? If transport has been made better, transportation system has been made better, of course, then you will see more and more of the trade activities between countries. You will see people moving from one country to another. you will see again more communication between countries. You will see again more foreign investment between countries. So if you look at it, advancement in transportation and technology is actually good in speeding up globalization. Okay, so for example, here I'm only using one example, which is e-commerce, okay, as my basis to explain this. So when there's e-commerce platform, more and more e-commerce platform as we are recording this video, okay, it will actually expand a company's market base. Why? Okay, we know that if your company has an e-commerce platform, okay, you will be exposed to more foreign customer. So in that case, you do not have to only focus on customer that is around your areas. Okay, you can actually look at customer that is not even within your areas, even if they are not foreign customers, they are from other state, other city, you can get access to their demand as well. Okay, so in that case, your market base actually widen. When your market base widen, in this case, in demand for import and export would actually increase, both sides. Okay. Next, with e-commerce, our productivity level and efficiency level would increase. Why? Because with e-commerce, there are a lot of things that can be speed up. Okay, you can allow customer to to place their orders online, and then immediately they will receive the instruction on how to make payment, when how to print their receipt, when would their product be sent, and what is the status of their products and things like that. All this can be done automatically, so things can be made more efficient, so you don't have to keep calling them and explaining to them everything. Okay, now, so productivity level, efficiency level, of course, would increase. Then in that case, of course, your cost of production will be lower, because with the limited time you have, you can actually do more work. So your cost of production would be lower, and you may not need so many workers as well as how much you need without e-commerce platform. Okay, in that case, of course, then your price level can be brought down if you want to stay competitive. Again, this is not compulsory, but you may do so. Okay, so it can be brought down, and if it can be brought down, then of course demand for your export will be higher. Okay, next is, again, with e-commerce platform, deposit of fund into foreign bank, it has been made so easy. This is what we call the e-banking. Okay, with e-commerce platform, what bank is using, we call it e-banking, but it is actually also kind of e-commerce platform. It's just that it is not buying and selling that you always see in terms of goods and services. Okay, so we call it e-banking. Okay, e-banking makes it easier for foreign investors to bank in money into a local bank, for local to bank in money in the foreign bank if you want to. Okay, like for example, we know that some of our parents would have done so if they have planned to send you overseas to further study. So they may have opened a foreign account and start, depositing foreign currency into it. Okay, so in preparation in to send you in the future. Okay, so making it easier for foreign investment to come in, encourage for the growth of foreign investment. Okay, and again, with e-commerce platform, purchase of shares over stock market has been made easy as well. So you don't have to go to the stockbrokers or whatever directly. Okay, you can actually contact them through online platform, or you can even manage your own account. Okay, so it makes the whole thing easier. Now, an example that I can show you is in year 2020, you actually see transportation system in the world, particularly the marine transport, almost crippled due to COVID-19. And of course, that leads to deglobalization in the world. Next, we will be looking at the growth in the multinational corporation. Multinational corporation simply means company that has headquarter in one country and branches in many other countries. That's multinational corporation. Okay, one very good example, McDonald. McDonald is a US based company, so the headquarter is there, and then they have branches and franchises all over the place. Okay, now, So what can we talk about here? How multinational corporation can lead to globalization is multinational company usually they will export products from their factories to other branches. Meaning even though they have branches all over the world, but they will only produce their product in certain place. Okay, for example, for the Asian region, they may produce their product in China. For their, then from China, they will export those products to branches in Asian region. Okay, so in that case, you would of course see directly it will contribute to exports. Okay, so movement of goods between countries will increase. Contributes to exports from China, from the example that I gave you, and then import to other Asian countries. Okay, now multinational companies also force domestic producers to be more innovative and efficient. Okay, if you look at your own country where there is local retailers, okay, and over the years you may see that local retailers become more, they either become more and more efficient or they close down because there's multinational uh, retailer that comes into the country. So multinational companies that comes into a country, it will actually force these local company to be more efficient, more innovative, if they want to stay competitive in the economy. So in that case, you will actually see their international competitiveness level will increase of the local company, yeah, okay, because they will be more innovative, they will be more efficient, so their competitiveness level will increase, and of course, demand for export will then increase, and that leads to growth in trade. Okay, example that I can show you here is Boost Juice. Okay, this is an Australian company that has branches over 450 stores in the world. Okay, and this is at the point of this recording. Okay, when you view this video, it could be more than that already. Okay, and of course, with that, it will actually increase capital movement and also trade movement across the countries. Okay. All right. Now, the last factors that we are going to look at is improved technology. If you realize, yeah, as I start explaining this point, you would realize it is similar to point number 2. Okay, improved transportation and communication system. Yes, these two are interrelated. Okay, sometimes it can be asked separately. Sometimes it can be done. So whatever, it can be explained together. So it depends on how you explain it. So explanation that you see here, you may interchange it with point number 2 if you see suitable. Improved technology here actually leads to cheaper transportation system. Okay, technology leads to advancement in transportation system. That's why I say it is interrelated. Okay, so improve in transportation system actually leads to smaller or lesser or lower lead time. No, I should use the word shorter. Okay, shorter lead time. Okay, whereby lead time actually means the time orders is being confirmed by customer. The customer say, okay, I'm going to buy this, or this is the payment or whatever. Okay, so that point of time to the time where product is received by the customer. So that lead time. Transportation system will of course reduce lead time because it is now more efficient with later technology. Okay, very easy to look at it. We always say that maybe 3 decades ago most of the products are being transported only through marine, okay, or through yeah, ships, okay, containers, but now freight, air freight, it's so easy. Okay, you can fly your product in as long as you're willing to pay the price. Lead time can reduce, and of course, lower lead time, lower cost. Okay, and that will actually leads to growth in trade because as we buy things online, for example, nowadays, besides looking at whether the product is suitable for you, whether the quality is good or not, the next thing you'll be looking at is how long is the delivery time. Okay, the shorter, the better, right? Okay, now next, improved technology allow investors to easily manage their investment across the countries. Okay, so they can invest in any other country. They don't have to be there physically, but they can see how their investment works online. Okay, they can through online, through video, through a web page or whatever, they can actually see how their investment perform. Okay, and that increases their confidence in investing. All right, so in that case, you will see a growth in foreign investment. Particular point, there is no separate example that I put in, because the example, you can use the example of point number 2. Okay, so you don't have to remember another example. Of course, if you have other example like what I've mentioned during my explanation just now, you can use it as well. Okay, and for questions, I'm not putting in any question for this subtopic or this part 1 of this subtopic, because usually this questions for this subtopic would be together with the next video, which is the effect. Okay, so that's why I will put the questions in the next video. All right, I hope this video helps you to understand the factors that affect globalization, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.